Mini PCs have come a long way, but every once in a while something drops that really blurs the line between compact convenience and full desktop performance. And that's exactly what the Acemagic Matrix M5 is trying to do. We're talking about a tiny 128mm box packing a 45 to 55 watts HX class CPU, 32GB of RAM and full 1TB NVMe SSD. This sounds like an overkill for a mini PC, but does it actually deliver? Let's break it down. Alright, quick pause here, because I know some of you are still rocking that little activate Windows watermark on your desktop. Yep, don't worry, that's where keysfan.com comes in. They've got super affordable legit keys for Windows 10, Windows 11 and even Microsoft Office. No more dropping a fortune just to keep your PC happy. Find the Windows you want at the checkout, enter LUP50 for 50% off on all Windows keys or LUP62 for 62% on any Office products. Check out using your credit card or PayPal, in the matter of seconds you will receive your key. Super cheap, super easy, check the links in the description. Now back to the video. Right away the Matrix M5 nails what a mini PC should be. It's extremely compact, roughly 128 by 128mm and only 41mm tall. Small enough to mount behind a monitor, for example, or disappear on your desk or under your desk. The design is clean, minimal, with a slightly industrial feel. Nothing flashy here. This clearly is aimed more at workstations and productivity setups rather than a gaming aesthetics. And honestly, that's the right call here. At the heart of this system is the Intel Core i5-14500HX. That would be 14 cores, 6 performance plus 8 efficiency cores and 20 threads with boost up to 4.9 GHz and sustained 55 watts TDP. This is not your typical low power mini PC chip. This is basically a laptop workstation silicon shoved into a tiny box. From my testing and benchmarks, we can see that Geekbench scored 2622 for single core and 11,871 points for multi-core performance. And you can see on the screen individual tests. For this you can pause it to see better. In the OpenCL test it scores 7957 points, while Vulkan score is at 9152 points, which is extremely okay for a tiny little machine with integrated graphics. In Cinebench 2024 single core is at 107 points, while multi-core is at 795 points. In Cinebench 26 it shows a little bit different things here, 610 points for single core performance, 3357 for multi-core and 457 points for single thread as well. SSD speeds are no slouch either here, 7.1 GB per second for read and 6.3 GB per second for write speeds. Impressive for a little tiny box. It is worth noting that while doing all this stress testing, the CPU did hit 87 degrees peak temperature in a second, but this is an extreme case scenario with tons of loads you would never put on a computer in regular day-to-day work. But I wanted to see how it handles everything. So what does this all translate to? For office work, it's all effortless, it's all snappy. For heavy multitasking, not an issue as well. Photo editing, smooth sailing, light video editing is very usable here as well. In fact, this chip performs closer to the older desktop i7 or i9 parts that you'd expect. Even more impressive here, it can match or outperform CPUs like i7-13620H and even some older i9 chips in real workloads. That's kind of insane for something this small in size. As for the GPU performance, there has to be a reality check here. Let's ground expectations a bit here. You're getting Intel UHD graphics 32EU. So in a nutshell, no serious gaming here is possible, no heavy 3D rendering, no AAA titles beyond very low settings, but 4K video playback, easy, light esports games possible of course. Creative workloads with GPU acceleration, well, it's kind of limited but workable. But remember, this is again a CPU first performance here in this little tiny box, not a gaming machine. As for the RAM and storage, the config we are looking here is with 32GB DDR4 dual channel RAM and 1TB NVMe PCI Gen 4 SSD, and this is honestly one of the biggest strengths of this little machine. So why this matters? For 32GB of RAM you have insane multitasking headroom for everyday tasks and beyond that actually. And the PCI Gen 4 SSD, this means you have fast boot, fast file transfers, even better, the upgrade path is also excellent here, up to 64GB is supported for the RAM, and it has dual M.2 slots, so you have expandable storage. So this thing can actually scale into a serious little workstation, although with its own limits, of course. So we come to the cooling. This is where most mini PCs fall apart, but not this one. You are getting dual fan cooling here, dual heat pipe design with mostly sustained 55 watt performance under stress testing. And that matters here because instead of short bursts and throttling, the M5 is designed for longer workload sessions. It has stable clocks under all that stress testing. It has consistent performance over time as well. And from real world usage, because numbers are one thing and real day-to-day usage is extremely on another level. So it stays relatively quiet and surprisingly stable under load, and that's a big win here. That's actually what it's designed to do. As for the connectivity and I/O for a mini PC, this thing is packing a lot of things. At the front you have one USB-C 10 gigabits per second, two USB-A ports also 10 gigabits per second, and an audio jack. And at the rear there are four USB-A ports, all of them are 10 gigabit USB 3.0 ports, HDMI 2.0 port, DisplayPort 1.4, and 1 gigabit LAN port. Of course, it packs wireless connectivity to Wi-Fi 6 and 6E and Bluetooth 5.2 support as well. The display support is limited up to triple 4K displays, so this is basically a productivity monster setup. Using this kind of system daily actually feels effortless. Windows 11 Pro comes pre-installed out of the box, boot times are fast, apps launch instantly, and multitasking feels unlimited here. So basically for everyday use, this means that you can run Chrome with, I don't know, 30 tabs until it eats up your RAM. You can run Photoshop here, you can run Microsoft Excel, you have 4K video playback, and it just doesn't slow it down. This is exactly what a modern mini workstation should feel like. And again, I'm stressing that this is mostly an office machine rather than a gaming machine. So who is this machine best suited for? It's not for everyone, it may be perfect for light content creators, but bear in mind for, as I said, light editing only, photos are okay, but video you have to use proxies, office power users, developers, home lab server setups, multi-monitor productivity setups, but it's not ideal for gamers, it's not ideal for heavy GPU workloads, and it is not ideal for 3D rendering professionals. So, based on this use case scenario, here are my pros and cons. You're getting desktop class CPU performance in a tiny form factor, 32GB of RAM plus 1TB SSD out of the box, you have excellent multitasking, you have strong cooling for a mini PC, and you have triple 4K display support, and of course upgradable RAM and storage down the road. And of course it has some cons. It has weak integrated graphics, so don't expect miracles here. It doesn't have USB 4 and it doesn't have any eGPU support. And of course you have limited upgradability versus the full desktop system, but it's expected in this tiny little machine. It's not built for gaming either. So the verdict here is that the Acemagic Matrix M5 is one of those rare mini PCs that actually delivers on the promise of desktop performance in a smaller box. It's not trying to be flashy, it's not trying to be, I don't know, a gaming machine, it certainly isn't that, and it is not a dedicated workstation replacement either, but instead it's a mix in between all of that. It focuses on what actually matters here: raw CPU performance, you have multitasking power and real-world usability, and because of all of that, it absolutely nails its target. So if you want a compact productivity beast, this is easily one of the most interesting mini PCs right now. And the price is also more than okay for around $600 considering current state of hardware prices. This is more than okay. So that's pretty much it for this one, guys. If you are tired of bulky desktops but you still want a serious performance in a small package, the Matrix M5 is definitely worth a look. So that's it, guys. Hope you liked the video, sub to the channel, like it, and I'll see you in another one.